Sanjeev Sah, welcome back.
Thank you, Van. Thanks for having me.
You are always very calm. However, you are even more calmer, which I don't even know is possible. You and I were just talking offline that you went to the Sadhguru event on the weekend. What was your biggest takeaway
Yeah,
from the event?
I started following Sadhguru last, almost a year now, and I of course, he talked really well, but I like he talks about the way of living, and it start with yourself rather than outside world. So he talks about there's ample of things in the world, and we're trying to learn everything, which is kind of impossible, and we never look inside us. Like if someone asks you, like, who are you? It's a hard one to tell. I can tell my name. I can tell I'm a buyer agent. I live in Australia, but who are you actually? So look inside and learn about yourself. And the best part is, I started doing yoga and all, because he's a big on yoga. And the reason behind is, that you when you're connected to the universe, because we are element of, element of universe, a part of it. So if you're well connected, you know all your answers, and plus you are in your best thing. So started learning yoga, and that's the thing. But otherwise, he teaches a lot of thing. And no, the best thing is he talks about know yourself, and be in your best mode, and the rest will follow through. We want to do really achieve big things in our life, but when we are in our best mode, rest will follow through. So that's where, for my biggest thing has been, I got into the yoga on a regular basis. I try to do 7 days, but of course, uh, up to 5 days or something, and few days I miss, but it helps me a lot. And now my wife is into yoga, and then we're pushing our daughter also. She's like, she's following us, so it's been amazing.
How important is it for you now? We're in 2024. Investors Dream's been up and running for, I'd say, what, 3, 4 years now?
Actually, exactly 5 years
Wow.
since we started talking. So this was, we are recording in in early 24, and this is the time, actually, first time I spoke with you back in 2019. And so it reminded me, when we started recording this, that it's good 5 years now. And how it changed. And always I pinch myself and remind myself, like, that when, there's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And for me, you were exactly that. Like 2019, I was and I was about to go to the Tony Robbins event in Fiji. And I had a chat with you, me and Sanders. We are both part of the community. And you said, Sanjeev, you're doing well in your property journey. You have been a good IT engineer. I think this is the time now you should start thinking big. And I said, like, what do you mean by thinking big, right? And I went to Tony Robbins, and it was part of my goal that I wanted to um, get into property investing full time. And I was working towards it back from 2015 very aggressively. And it was 4 years. I've been already doing a lot of things in the property thing. But when you said, I said, oh, I'm kind of ready. And 1st of April, I get out of my job. I didn't quit. I mean, you know my story. I took extended leave for 4 months. And so 1st of April, that's where, April Fool, you can say. Back in 2019, we started Investors Dream. And after 3 4 months, mid-year, officially we started putting website and everything pieces, all the pieces of the puzzle. But yeah, it's been now on 4.5 years, I would say. But yeah, that's where.
Yeah, you've come a long way. I feel in a short period of time, you've really, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you've really carved out this incredible niche for yourself where you're leveraging your background in IT and you're supporting um, the people who primarily from an IT background. Obviously, you're supporting other people, but you seem to have a very big following of clients and people who come from IT as a background, and you're helping support them build a portfolio like you did for yourself originally, but now you're really extending that out to a larger audience. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, true, Ben. 90% of our clients are IT professional. Um, with all your help and guidance and what I learned from you, started sharing my story on LinkedIn, Facebook, social medias, and I don't know. I mean, automatically, IT professionals started resonating with me, and of course, we implemented good process of buying good properties, good success stories, and again telling doing the sales using um, the success of client. You always say is let your client sell your service, and that's what happened with us. So of course we started buying few properties, and I implemented whatever learned from you, started sharing client success stories as well. And yeah, I think first year was a bit, I said, oh, I wanted to help 10 people or 12 people, and pretty much with COVID hit and all, we achieved that more than that. But last of, you know 3 years we never had like any. We have always 2.5 months of pipeline of clients. So it just happens word of mouth, repeat clients, and business keeps coming. And we try to give the best to our clients, and they're buying multiple properties as well. So yeah, it's a very ripple effect. And now I think even though I'm not a salesy, all I knew was a property thing, but I never thought about, hey, how I'm gonna implement marketing or sales. I said, I don't care. I know property, and I'm sure someone will need help with that. And yeah, still I say I'm not good at marketing or sales, but I think as you say, right, like when we are authentic, we are ourselves, and we try to do our best. People can see that. People can see that energy, and yeah, it's yeah. So looking back, and last 2 years, my even wife quit her job full time from her Westpac, and yeah, she's living her dream life, spending more time with family, and those the things which matter us. So yeah, it's been really good journey. So grateful to you and all of the clients and all the communities. I learned, it's a big community, the Biogen Institute, right? And I've learned like so little bit pieces, and I think that's been my game changer. I always follow good people, and then try to absorb whatever I feel is good for me, and implement, and I learn from those and keep going.
How would you, for people who aren't familiar with Investor's Dream in terms of, what you do uh, as a buyer's agent business, how would you describe Investor's Dream?
So, as at Investors Dream, we help people buy investment properties all across Australia, and build a portfolio. So we are investor focused only, and the whole focus is to buy good rental yield properties with high capital growth, and focus is helping them diversify and build a property portfolio so that it can help them. You know so that's where investors dream primarily focus is, but key area is also like what when I look back, what I'm trying to do in the business is, when I started investing, like once I made my first $1 million through investing, um, things have started changing. Like once I bought few properties, gained good capital growth and all, suddenly from feeling like because I always ask myself like, hey, I work in IT, live in Australia, such a good country, but then why don't have these nice things or big holidays or even have to buy a car? Why have to look into an old car, right? So used to think a lot, doubt myself, but then when I made my first $1 million, then it opened up like, hey, I can go anywhere, I can do
Mm.
anything. And it was more of a self-image thing, like getting my respect back, finding my identity, that if I put my mind or any energy, I can get whatever I want. And so that's where investors team also, like we working with clients primarily to help buy and get that, like first $1 million or $500,000, so that, because a lot of the time people think, hey, it's good for maybe Sanjeev can do it or someone else can do it, but maybe not me, it's not possible. But when they see that happening, while they are working for money, either through a job or business, but something on the side. It's very powerful actually. Um, so that's where, now we have a lot of clients earning, making their 200K or 300K through one property over a few years, or half a million through five properties. So it's good to see that, um, you know they're building the trust, getting the self image. And a lot of the clients now, they're using that money because they had the goal to start a business or do something or help their family members, so they're able to use that money also to invest in those goals.
Do you see that as a common thread? Talking about self image, and you referring to yourself, um, you having to rewire your self image, which I think we all have to do. Do you feel like when your clients come to see you, you said 90% come from IT. Like, do you think, or do you think they lack confidence also with self image around how they can accumulate wealth?
Yeah, I think, see, it's a common thread, at least what I have seen, including myself, like when I started. Um, so it's because come back to the education system and know all the surroundings. Like, you'll not believe, is still kind of my parents ask me, hey, how's your business going, are you okay, are you able to pay your bills, right? um, because when I was quitting my job, like, even we're in a decent position, and also it's come back to the surrounding, like, hey, even like I remember, like, I bought, I think, almost three properties, and I was not sharing with my family members. So, because suddenly they will say, why you buying, why you investing, it's risky, why it's required, you have a good job, you have a family, just live good life, right? So it's all accumulation of all those hearings, which lacks to, like, they want to do it, they get inspired looking at, so many success stories, listening to the podcast, but then they go back home, and then sometimes the partner will say, you know what, my dad invested and he lost the money. Because we all has a very huge impact of the negative things. So the fear of loss is, I think, is more in the marketplace.
Mm,
So, and of course all the surroundings, like a lot of our clients I see, not a lot, I would say, few of the clients will say, you know what, I'm not even shared with my family and my friends. So I'll not be able to do a video testimony, for example, right? So, but it's because they don't want to share, because it's what they will say, and they're not gonna be saying, hey, well done, right? Rather than, okay, you have bought it property, we'll see. I know a lot of people
mm,
have lost. So people, we avoid those, those negative listening, right? So I think all those, it's a bundle, right? It's not one thing, it's a package. And that's where, it's the self image, the doubt comes into the picture. And that's where, I think it it's hindering their growth, right? And the action taking, because the the truth is, everyone wants to do the best for themselves, but it's something comes, right? Which is again fear, doubt, and the surrounding. And that's why, for me, I would say, like, if someone is listening to this, I would say, surround yourself with the much better people than yourself. And that
mm,
has been my game changer. Because even when I was about to invest in my first a property education course, that time I didn't had, like, I had just bought my own property. And one of, few of my colleagues had few investment properties. I said, man, you're the best guys, you need to teach me. And I asked them, I'm going for a seminar. What do you say? What would you say? So they say, go get the free seminar, but don't invest the money. They will sell your course, don't buy it. And guess what? I went and I bought a course. Of course, I went in a very good room, and I changed my thing. So I would say, listen to better people, and that's it, right? And surround you with yourself, because that has changed my life. Like, either it's property investing, either it's my biology in business, or my personal health, or any mindset. I'm like, now actually we have very limited friends, which is, we're proud of, because so that's where it is.
I love it. And I mean, I know you off record, and talking about investing in courses, I mean, you're just someone who I've always felt takes a lot of action. I think a lot of people turn up to these seminars, buy these courses, and don't do anything with it. They expect, click of the fingers, their life to change, and you're quite the opposite. And I feel like you really put a lot of effort in. I mean, when you joined BAI, I know you were still in the IT profession, and from memory, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had about a 12-month plan, a transition plan for you to then get out of the corporate world and move into the buyer's agent space. But as you said, I mean, I think you after 3 or 4 months, you said, "Hey, I can do this. I'm getting some traction," and you threw the towel in to your corporate job. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, it was a big decision for, me and my wife. But again, creating that environment at home also. Even when I told my wife first time, hey, I'm thinking I met this guy, and then we can start this, and it's a perfect opportunity for us. And, and we were helping people. So she said, okay, what you're waiting for, go for it. And I was like, now I'm feeling the nervous. So, but yeah, we did it. And kind of, like, again, it comes back with the, like investing in property. You're confident, and worst case is like I can always go back to the job, right? It's the nature of it, right? So, yeah, I think, and now looking back, it's all a different story. So
How many people in your team now?
we have four, Ben. Yeah.
Four. Nice. And so you're buying Australia wide.
Yeah.
And when you reference that 90% of your clients from IT, has that just snowballed organically through someone in IT tells their friend and tells their friend, and it just starts to gain momentum? Is that how it started to unpack for you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's been, so far, I think, we have never had any Facebook ads or any advertisement actually. So far, it's been very organic. But yeah, it's been. I would say the biggest thing has been, helpful is the video testimonies. Um, so I think we have got 60 plus video testimonies. um,
Wow.
so I've heard like clients calling saying, hey, I saw my friend video testimony, and I thought I'll reach out to you. And it's been just organic, and I'm happy with whatever, we have literally zero marketing cost, investment, or cost, you can say. So yeah, it's been, really good. And and the best part is like you get like-minded people, the kind of clients, we want to work with. So I would say we are ruthless in that also, that if no if we find someone is not the perfect, we are not the perfect fit with them, then it's a straight, disqualification. And but yeah, luckily, with all those, it's been just, a ripple effect. And people turns up. And yeah, never had problem with, signing up people, or major. So
I love it. It's great. It's so good. And you obviously took action with that strategy of, you know, getting client videos, testimonials, and, sharing those and communicating to potential clients through that. And it's obviously very compelling, right? Like
yeah, yeah,
it's
someone,
very important. Yeah.
yeah, now I think someone was asking me recently, like, how do you manage to get so many video testimonies? Because we get a lot of objections from the client getting on the camera, right? So I said, now we have created the culture. So now what's happening is actually, uh, clients are waiting for that. Once we settle, of course, we give a good service, good education. I mean, if the service is on good, testimony is not going to happen. But we give all the energy, good service. And then, when we settle, we just tell the client, hey, it's your turn when we are jumping on the camera. And they say, oh, let's do that. So now major of the clients are waiting for that, like, hey, because they want to be part of that ecosystem where they are heard. And that mindset of, we provide some content to the clients. So hey, like, if you're doing something good, share with other people. And if you're doing bad, please don't do it. If you think investing is bad, let's not do it. But if you think it's good, do it. Share with your loved ones, share with your kids, parents, anyone you can do it, right? Who is willing to listen. And if someone is not, then don't do it. But yeah, I think it's been really, working. And that, so
2023, I was doing a training the other night, and I was talking about 2023 as a year because obviously interest rates went up 13 times over the last 24 months. I think 5 times in 23 and 8 times in 22. And I said to people, I really thought 23 was going to be a hard year for buyers agents, just with rates being high, and they went up higher. But buyers agents were really fucking busy. Like, and especially the buyers agents who do IP like you do, who do sub 700,000. I also thought, well, their clientele are going to be affected the most. They could be someone who's on a corporate good salary, but their serviceability is going to start getting affected. But it was quite the opposite that I started to see. I saw buyers agent businesses, um, the momentum they were building, the demand was growing, and so I felt like I got proven wrong to myself around my perspective. What were your findings last year?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you, Ben. I mean, the people who were, like bit established, providing a good service, getting out there as well. If someone is starting, if they're getting out there, I think the people. I mean, the challenge is there. Of course, rate of interest is jumping every day. So much uncertainty. People are losing their borrowing capacity, but at the same time, like for investor clients, we focus on building the portfolio and not finding excuses. So our clients are in that mindset. So our clients were like, Sanjeev, um, can we go to the second tier lender or something? So they're looking ways, like, so it's a simple, like, we can find excuses not to do things. But our clients were very like, let's do it, and few clients were stuck up. But then um, I think, yeah, we didn't see any problem, Ben. And I've seen like few businesses, they're gone from big businesses. I mean, them. And we had never had problem signing up clients. So and again, organic, we didn't say because it's 2023 we have lack of clients, let's do marketing or do this or that. We were like last very consistent what we were doing. And we
Mm.
never had problems there. But a lot of new businesses came, and they did well actually. So I think yeah. So, and plus, the stock levels are also a big problem right now. We don't have problem signing clients, but it's the pain is the stock level, right? Where do we buy, what do we buy? And we want to
Mm.
maintain the quality. So the challenge has been the stock levels. um,
Mm.
and yeah, I think, and if someone is doing well, providing a good service, they know they're doing well.
What's your outlook on 24 with where your business is up to and just the buyers agent sector, and then obviously with what's going on at a macro level? How do you feel about 2024?
I think 24, we are much positive. So everything is looking perfect, and business wise and everything. But I think the only doubt or bit of fear I have is the stock level and the price
Mm.
point. The price point has gone significantly up. Like I remember, like back three years back, used to buy very 400 and all, and now last year all my purchase has been 650 mark, right?
Unbelievable.
So now, like, I'm like started saying buy properties over 500, because especially we buy good areas, bit neat and clean. um so yeah, so price point was be is bit of a discussion point there. And the stock levels will be a big challenge. So I think, and I'm sure, this year we're expecting some rate cuts, and that will just make another big mess in the marketplace from the stock level perspective. And of course, but I think people have been transacting. People who want to invest, they have been investing. There's
Mm.
ample of people. So yeah, I'm focusing on them who want to invest and do good for themselves. And but yeah, I think uh, it's been I think 24 will be much better year. um,
It's definitely something I found interesting around 23. You mentioned obviously your price point's gone up because prices have gone up, right? And demand's gone up. And obviously there's a shortage of stock, which may be um, a key reason why prices are driving up. However, it's interesting because the media is not talking about that. Like the media is not talking about how in some of these states, it's incredibly difficult to buy because the demand's so strong. Um, like you're not hearing that message. Like you're hearing more just generally that things are extremely tough for people. Rates are very high. Um, you're hearing about the doom and gloom, but there's a lot of activity going on. Hence why your price points increase so much. Um, and I was very surprised about that because I was one of the not skeptics, but I was just one of those people which thought, okay, well, um, borrowing capacity is going to be affected. Serviceability is going to be impacted, and like surely there's going to be not as much buying going on. So surely there's going to be more stock, and then I thought surely the buyer is going to be in the driver's seat, not the seller. But it seems like in a lot of these states where you're buying investment properties, it's like the vendor holds the power still. And I just found that interesting. Like at 23, if you look at where rates are, that the vendor's still in complete power. It's crazy, hey?
Yeah, no, it is, and it's like, and the not only the price point, the stock levels, and the biggest fear is this problem is not getting solved this year, next year also. We'll have
Yes,
in 25 also, and I can see next couple of years it's gonna get worse and worse. Unfortunately, government is not gonna come and fix this issue.
yes,
They're too slow, and yeah, I think I don't want to talk any bad things, but yeah, it is the nature is like that. So this year and the price point. So my few fear is also like, as the price point are going up, like it'll be difficult also to build a property portfolio, because where
mm,
you're buying for 400K, suddenly you're buying for, like, Perth last 1 year we have seen 150K gone up. I mean, I bought three properties, luckily, a year ago or something. I've made $500,000 out of those three investment properties
for
for
yourself.
self. Yeah. And of course
Yeah,
we bought 100 plus properties for the clients, and so, and everyone has made, at least per client has made 100K per property, right? And now we started buying for 450 range, and it feels like yesterday. I saw one property we bought in a very good suburb for under 450 early last year, which was thing, and now same suburb 650 and all the price points you're
wow.
saying. So it's gonna be difficult to build a property portfolio as we move ahead, and so and price point has gone up, and the stock levels is, so and so yeah, there's a huge demand plus the stock level low, so the price has to go only in one direction, and that's what's happening. While you're saying, stock level, like, price has gone up, like, it's hard for me to find a suburb where prices is stagnant or dropping or something like that. It's majority of the suburbs has gone up. I mean, even though it's a multi-million dollar properties, right? um I mean, so, and I forgot about the affordability where we play in, like 5, 600, 700K properties. There's massive. So I think it'll be very interesting and here. But yeah, I think from buyer agent perspective, I think it's. I can tell you, even the buyer agents are struggling for the stocks. So if someone is by themselves, I'm not saying it's you can't buy it, but it requires a lot of diligent work and and networking and all those things, which is not easy for everyone. I can tell that. So
Yeah, there's a lot of pain I hear from the standard buyer who's looking to buy an IP, let's say in some of the areas that you might be buying in,
yeah,
like or buyers agents are buying in, like that buyer who doesn't have those relationships or who's not skilled like you are. I mean, you're buying 100 plus properties a year, you know what to do. For the standard buyer, I mean, it must be very, and I'm hearing about it, but it must be very difficult for them to get a result.
yeah, I agree. I mean, when think about, like, before we start buying, we travel, go there, stay there for a week, 10 days, and now we what we do is, like, we even go and stay there for 2 weeks, book a Airbnb, stay there, and work from there and nurture relationship with the agents, right? And
Yes,
targeting those, and of course you have to do the transaction also, because you and we can have a lot of chats, but if I'm not doing any buying properties, there's no relationship. So
yes.
um it's after that also, I mean, we are struggling, and it's not like that we are buying 100 properties every day, right? It's stock levels are low. I mean, even the agents are struggling. They're saying, hey, biggest challenge is like there's no stocks. So
Mm,
so even they're struggling. So even though if they want to work with us, they want, but yeah, there's not many stocks. So if you're by yourself. So yeah, I think I would say, in fact, people, if someone is listening to look and who's looking to invest in property, if you're for a buyer in the marketplace, just find one which suits your needs. Sign up as soon as possible, because if you're thinking 3 months, guess what? Price has gone up by another 5-10%. That's what is happening. So these days you don't have to wait for few years to get a good 15-20% growth. It's literally the market is doing the magic. um, like 15-20% growth happening in a
yeah.
year, right? And which is very common many locations across the country. So yeah, that's where
Yeah. I mean, we're looking to buy, Rachel and I, an investment in the eastern suburbs at the moment, and it's very competitive there still, right? Like this is prestige, right? So it's a very competitive market. Again, it hasn't been affected. We're trying to buy in an area where it's very much off market focus. However, you know, we recognize that, hey, like if we try and do this ourselves, like we're up against these buyers agents who are just on the phone all day. Like we're going to be disadvantaged. So we've engaged one, um, because I just think you need to have that level of awareness and make a smart decision, because you know you need. It's all about finding that right property, and you don't want to be that buyer like who's reliant on what's coming on real estate and domain, right? Just to be like, hey, because there might be something else. Um, so yeah, I totally resonate with what you're saying.
yeah, no, it's very interesting for next few years actually. So not only this year, it has been from some time post COVID, anyways, but it's getting
Yes.
worse and worse every single day. So
It's a good point you just brought up, or just reference point of COVID. I always tell people. I mean, I've been in the industry since '09, so I wasn't the first. There's people who've been around longer than I have, um, but I tell people this: the consumer awareness around buyers agents, I've never seen increase more post COVID. COVID was that time, even though the shocking nature of COVID and what happened, there's always a positive to something negative as well. And the positive was people couldn't travel to Perth if they're in Sydney, or to or to South Australia if they're in Sydney, as an example. So they got a buyer's agent. And some people even were buying their family home and didn't want to go to an so the demand for buyer's agents increased so significantly. So consumer awareness has, as a result, changed. And you're right. Like I've seen since COVID, year on year, like the demand and awareness around and the importance of getting a buyer's agent has changed, right?
yeah, yeah. Now definitely awareness, I can see, like when we started 5 years, 4.5 years ago, and like we have to educate the client what we do. And now, like each client we have to explain, and that's why our video what biogen does, right? uh, the But now I think in a year we may have one or two people who 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 still understand, but they may ask like what exactly you do. So yeah, I think, but now we don't have to educate people. They know what we do, and they say, okay, what's your process, what sort of how can you help, and your fees, and this and that, and very basic things. And either they sign up, or they don't. So the awareness is now, it's a has help, I think. Yeah, and because of the COVID, and now, but I think now, even like now, because of the so stock level, even a suburb where to buy, what price point, you need help. Like your example, I mean, I mean, Rachel has been in that marketplace for long. She is a killer buyer agent, right? But now she's going through another buyer agent because of the what's happening in the marketplace.
Yeah. It's interesting times. Well, Sanjeev, I've enjoyed our conversation, and yeah, it's great to see you. You're obviously working on yourself a lot personally, and your business is a really robust business. I didn't realize you're 5 years going now, and team of four. Your wife's joined you, and you've got such a strong following of clientele, specifically in that IT industry. It's amazing to see how you've carved that out for yourself. And it's great to connect with you and just hear, what you're up to and get your outlook on what's going on. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben. So grateful to you for all the guidance from day one, and now look at now where we are. So me and my wife, even my daughter, we are very grateful to you for everything you have helped us and no, to make it happen for us. So
You're so welcome. Thanks so much, Sanjeev.